This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. Dear friends, I want to welcome you to the Voice of Hope. And today we are starting another series. Now, this series we are going to look at how to win the battle of life in our mind. Because the mind is like the engine room of everything. It is what controls your entire being. When you lose your mind, you have lost everything. When you see mad people in the street, every part of their body seems to be working normally. Their kidneys are fine, their liver is okay, their heart is okay. The only problem with them is the mind is not okay. When we want to be overcomers for the Lord, when we want to live a life of righteousness and overcome sin, then the battle must be won in the mind. So how do we win the battle in the mind? So we are going to look at 5 things that would help us to win the battle of the mind. You see, my dear friend, our lives actually follow the direction of our thought. When you know that what you think about is what directs you, then you can actually have the right thought to direct you to the right destination. In Philippians chapter 4, verses 8 to verse 9, the Apostle Paul says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." Did you get that? Bible wants us to put our mind on the things that will lead us to the kind of destinations that we desire. So we must focus on the things that are pure, things that are noble, things that are right, things that are true and admirable, things that are excellent. These are the things that we must think about. The Apostle Paul in Philippians chapter 4 verse 8 to 9 continue to say, "Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put into practice, and the God of peace will be with you." And so in these 3 sentences, Paul moves from thought, that is think about things, to action, that is put them into practice, to experience. And that's what he says, the peace of God will be with you. When you think about things that are pure, and you put them into practice, then you would experience the peace of God in your life. And so Paul tells us that our thoughts actually shape our lives. There is a field of study in psychology known as cognitive behavioral therapy. In fact, this theory actually reveals that many problems are actually rooted in faulty and negative patterns of thinking. And so treating those problems begins with changing what we think about. That is why King Solomon in Proverbs chapter 23 verse 7 says, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." Whatever you think about, that is what you become. And so the Bible and science all makes us to understand that whatever you focus your mind on, that is what you will see in your life. So if you want to win the battle in your mind, then the first thing that you need to do is to change what you think about. It is known as the replacement strategy. You need to replace what you think about with what is pure, what is true, what is noble. Instead of always thinking about defeat, think and focus on victory, even when the victory has not come. Instead of always focusing on failure, think about passing that test, and that victory will surely come to pass. And so, my dear friend, when you change what you think about, you will be an overcomer. When you start to think and believe that you can live a righteous life, indeed the Spirit of God would grant you that power to live a righteous life. When you accept and believe that you can live one day without sinning, you will live a month and 2 and 10 and then a year without sinning. Everything begins in the mind. So replace that mindset. That is the first strategy. Replace it with a positive thought, and God will help you to be an overcomer. Father, today we come before you. Help us to change what we think about and focus on what is pure, what is true, what is noble, what is praiseworthy. These are the things that will lead our lives into the right direction. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.